Playing in bands sucks. Not because of the tunes, but more likely due to the number of sound that you need to have. Gianluca, you played Despacito for 3 years straight with 2 different bands on 2 different instruments. Well, that sucked. Completely erased from your mind in 2022 and even before, going into a gig with just your bass and an amp. And I had to learn it the hard way when I was a touring musician playing bass on stage with band, because I never cared as much as guitar. My fault. And I always felt like not serving the song, which, listen to me, should be the only thing to care about. Particularly during the more poppy, funky, modern stuff where you need all sorts of sounds, especially the ones with more of an EDM, synth vibe. To not feel like that anymore, I decided to emulate them with my electric bass, and I wanna show to you how Fioi. Fioi is the equivalent of guys here in Italy. A little fan fact, mainly because I don't want you to be in that situation. My name is Gianluca, I'm a bass player, guitar player, singer and songwriter from Italy, and... Okay, let's go! To get that, which is basically me trying to sound like a minimum, we need a few things. Saturation, modulation, pitch shifting, and when it's needed, a filtering effect. Gear-wise, today I'm using my new BB434 from Yamaha and my Edrush FX pedalboard. This is clean into a simulation, unfortunately, of an SVT from Ampeg. And now we need some saturation, because it will determine the type of wave that we are going to emulate. To make it easier, more of a square, more of a sawtooth, and so on and so forth. For the drive section today I'm using a simulation of a Big Muff from Electroharmonics and a distortion one from Boss. Let's hear it clean again very quickly. And now let's engage the Big Muff. I know that can sound strange because it is more of a sludgy, stonerish kind of tone, but at this point we need to do a few adjustments to get that synth vibe from our bass. For example, play with the neck pickup and rolling down the tone knob. I personally like to use it completely off, and the last thing that you can do is to use this hand even over the fretboard, like this. Another cool thing that the Moog and other kind of synth have is the ability to play different octave per every oscillator and even fine-tuning them. And to get that vibe on the bass, we need some pitch shifting or octave and a modulation. You can use a chorus or a flanger. I will use a chorus because I like the effect more. So let's hear the chorus very quickly. And now let's engage the octave so we can get maximum fatness. Now that we have this sound, which is, in my opinion, the core foundation of synth bass vibe on electric bass, we can do a few tricks to get even more authentic and realistic, even though the synth bass is a fake electric bass and we are trying to fake a synth bass on an electric bass. I know this is weird. For example, do you need an arpeggiator vibe on your lines? Take a delay and put it at the end of the chain, set it with 1, maybe 2 repetition with the same volume or at least a little bit quiet than your regular sound, like this, very quickly. And I highly suggest to play with a pick and a little bit of palm mute, really staccato notes, like this. Or do you need that sidechain effect for playing that particular song in your set? You know, that effect that goes, sorry for my beatboxing skill, that sound that goes like this. something like that, you know. You have to play upbeat note, really staccato, but laying down to the groove, like this. Or do you want to emulate those kind of rises before the main riff of the song or the biggest chorus at the end of the song? Place the wah-wah after the drive and listen to what I mean. But don't forget to go completely bananas with this approach. And what I mean by that, I'm no longer a 2D musician, and I bet you can guess why. So at the moment I'm writing music, producing content and all sorts of things. And this approach of not sound like the instrument that you're playing is giving me a lot of fun and inspiration. For example, take this sound, wash it in reverb and delay like this, and you can emulate those drone effects like this. Are you a metal player like myself? Instead of using that awesome but slightly overused Dingwall Darkglass combination, try to use this sound. Here's a quick riff to show what I mean. Do you want to stand out during a solo with a weird, completely unexpected, out-of-the-blue sounds? Take the pitch shifter and set it an octave up and just go for it, man. And that's it for today's video. I hope that all of this has been and will be useful, rather if you need it on stage, in studio with your band, or just to get inspired on something new. My name is Gianluca, I'm a guitar player, bass player, singer and songwriter from Italy, and every week I explore sounds and boundary of music here on YouTube. So if you like that, please subscribe to my channel, and until next time, remember, you are lucky, my man.